Good afternoon, subtropic fruit fans from Melbourne, Subtropic Fruits. I'm going to do a bit of an update because there's something to show, and we'll walk out here just past the American pawpaw here that's about to lose all its leaves. It's got a beautiful coloration. This is a Pennsylvania gold seedling, so they come up fairly true to type, and we've got the ones in the ground just here about to drop their leaves in winter. Now what I want to show you, and I don't like to show every half inch of growth of things, I like to show something when something really does happen. So I'm just sneaking up to the Kambangan Starfruit, or the Sri Kambangan, and it's finally set fruit. Maybe this warm weather, don't know. Put a bit of potash on it this year, and there's a few fruit on it starting to grow from little tiny things. Up here there's two. You can see two waving around in the wind. It's getting a bit windier today. And there's a couple here, and there's more on other branches, so I could get at least 10 fruit. You never know. And what is good though, I did I tipped the cherry of the Rio Grande, which nearly is as tall as me, at 6 foot, and I tipped it so it would bifurcate, sent out another couple of branches at the top, and this is due to fruit because this is about 6 years old. And we'll go over here. I planted in amongst my largish lamb haas that doesn't produce a heck of a lot of fruit. I don't know why, it struggles because of pollination, but I've planted several different grafted avocados that I've grafted in the ground, like a reed. I've got a Noella over the other side, I've got a Gwen, and I bought a Jala recently. So here's the Jala, and that was a good size buy for its price. It's pretty good, and it's actually pushing out growth at the moment. Now, I've discovered that after consultation with dailies, that this plant here is supposed to be a green sapote, but it ends up being it's a mammy sapote. So yeah, I'm a bit sort of annoyed, but I do love mammy sapote, but it could take twice as long to actually grow that fruit. There's a couple of fruit on the dragon fruit, but I'm not really a big dragon fruit fan, so I'm not really hard pressed at pushing its buttons. The good old Palmer mango that I repotted from the ground is doing okay again, but it's in a shady spot. It's come up quite a bit over the last couple of years after I pugged it low because it was coming out too high. Now we'll go somewhere else and show you some actual more interesting things. Now, I've got some fruit on the Glen mango. Now I just need to qualify what some people think they actually have a Glen, but Glen actually has quite dark patches on the fruit before it colours up. The sun creates dark patches rather than orange patches. So if someone's getting orange patches, they most likely have an Irwin. So there's a couple of large ones here. So they're getting over 500 grams, and hoping this weather starts to colour them up. And I've got a little Irwin just here somewhere. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, there's a small Irwin. And over here I have some Nam Doc Mai. I've got a couple of Nam Doc Mai starting to size up, but the one behind here has started to split, but I'll just leave that one for now, see if I can get it to grow with the split. And I'll go over to another spot. Okay, I'm underneath the kiwi fruit, and I think I counted about 17 kiwis. Well, this is a first for it because it's only ever had a couple that I hand pollinated, and most of these are self-pollinated by the male. But I did get a few kiwi berries this year, and they were quite nice. But I've planted out kiwi berry here in an effort to get more kiwi berries to grow. So we'll go over to another spot. We've got some good sized guavas on the seedless guava. I've forgotten his name. Yeah, can't place the name, but it's from Daly's, the seedless. It's quite an aromatic fruit, and there's about 3 or 4 I've left to grow on this because it's only a seedling. Sorry, it's not a seedling. It's a cutting. Starling seedless. That's it, the starlings. But it's in a pot. That's what I meant. And it's not going to grow to a big size if it's in a pot, the fruit, unless there's only a couple. I must mention the large yellow Japodicarba hasn't flowered again, so I'm not going to pot it up until it flowers. So I'm just waiting on that one. Okay, this is interesting. I'm going to do some guerrilla planting of an ice cream bean soon when this gets a bit bigger, but I grafted ice cream bean, or the one I had, nothing special, onto a seedling I grew from the parent plant a few years ago, and it's growing. And the parent plant just next to me has some fruit this year. So there's a pod forming, and it's way up here, but it's starting to struggle. So I thought, get it in the ground somewhere. Now over here I've got the coconut cream mango that's pushing out some nice growth, and I'll pot that up next year. Now what is interesting though, I've got a Krasui, however you want to say it, Sapodilla or Sapodilla, and it has a set fruit, and there's a few other on it around all the florets, or the leaf florets in different spots. So I'm hoping that I get a couple of fruit set on there. Now this is interesting. It still hasn't set fruit. I've got a dwarf acerola called a pixie, and it's been loaded with flowers. I'm just hoping this warm weather helps it do something and set fruit. But they're easy to take cuttings from. Very easy to make a cutting from that. So what else? I've got an interesting plant called a che, grafted che on Osage orange, which is called the watermelon fruit. And I've tipped it here, and it's sending out a couple of bifurcations, because I don't want to just grow like a beanstalk. The guava Jew, or not this one, the other one had one fruit on it. And let's see, I've got a couple of interesting plants down here. I'm starting to grow a dwarf hog plum, so we'll see how that goes, but I'll let that get bigger before it goes in the ground out front. And I've got a lovely little grafted cha-cha to go along with the other one. See, this one's on a cha-cha rootstock, and the other one's on lemon drop mangosteen, which is maybe a slower rootstock. And we'll go over to the Japodicarbas. Okay, the costada's grown really well this year. It actually flowered but didn't set fruit, and I've got myself a seedless lychee that hasn't punched any growth yet, and the good old red hybrid has given me 3 crops this year. I'm just got so much seed, so I'm struggling to plant it all, and have to wait probably 8 months before the seed comes up. And the king ties pushed out a flush a while ago, and that's looking pretty good. So hope you enjoyed the tour. Everything's looking great on a sunny day such as this. Oh yeah, I'll just show you this. This is the posh tea. Even though it's in a fairly shady spot, it's pumped out some growth this year. It's very, very tropical looking. So I recommend this in Melbourne. Find a little microclimate and you'll be able to grow a very sweet Anona, which I haven't tasted yet. And the good old Davidson plum that hasn't fruited. The coffee is struggling because they're in the same pot as they were 10 years ago, but it dwarfs them. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and hope to see you soon when I've got something more to show. Bye for now.